Hi everyone. I thought I'd do this video as a little where have I been. I haven't been on YouTube, I haven't been crafting for a while, but mainly I wanted to do it because this year has been a really bad year health-wise for me, and before I got ill I tried looking on YouTube for stuff and I just couldn't really find anything. For those of you that don't know, I had spinal surgery in December 2021, and that was for a bulging disc at L4, L5, so I had that removed, and then after that surgery was a success. As soon as I came around I had no more static pain. I was able to do stuff when I got better. However, in July 2023 I started to feel pain again, and I woke up one morning and felt almost paralysed from the waist down. So I knew that something was wrong. When I had the MRI scans, it showed that I had two bulging discs, so the same one again that had been partially removed, and L5S1, which is the one below it. By the time I actually got around to surgery, which was in April this year, the L5S1 had managed to get back into place. It wasn't bulging anymore. So the disc I had, L4-5, that was bulging out, I had partially removed again, and I was in hospital for 4 days. But even when I came out from surgery, I said to my surgeon, I feel worse, I don't know what's happened. He said, you know, your disc was bulging for a long time, it was compressed for a long time, there could be permanent nerve damage, we just don't know. But the surgery itself was a success, so as far as the surgeon was concerned, his job was done. After that, about a month later, I had to call out an ambulance and get them to come here to pick me up because I physically couldn't move. I was, again, almost paralysed, could barely do anything, could barely walk, and I spent 5 days in hospital. They did an MRI, painfully, and a CT scan, which didn't really show anything. It showed that there was a slight patch on the MRI, which they basically described as it could be inflammation or it could be the start of an infection, but my blood work didn't show that. So they went with, it's just inflamed from surgery on my spine, the actual joints of my spine. They gave me a nerve root block injection at L4, L5, which again didn't really do anything. I was drugged up on morphine when I was in hospital, so I couldn't really tell. But as you get out of hospital, the morphine wears off. I started to try to move, so I still had my stick, I still had to hold on to my husband. I couldn't do anything. I realised it had done nothing. 10 days after I initially went into hospital by ambulance on the 1st of May this year, so the 11th of May, I had to call them out again because it got to a point I couldn't even lift my arms. I was basically paralysed from the neck down. It was really scary, really awful, really scary time in my life, and I think the ambulance crew knew that I wouldn't be coming home for a while. So they said, pack your bag, or they told my husband to pack me a bag. I don't really remember much of what happened that night before I went into hospital, but I know that I was in and out of consciousness. My eyes were rolling to the back of my head. They couldn't get my pain under control. My temperature had started to go up. So I think they suspected a spinal infection. I was in hospital for 12 days on IV antibiotics. I think they knew at that point. I think my blood CRP levels when I was actually admitted via the ambulance was 189. However, the next day it had gone up to over 250, so that's a really high CRP level. So I was on IV antibiotics for the 12 days in hospital. I then had a further 6 weeks of oral antibiotics. They wanted to put a PICC line in. For those of you that don't know, just Google it. It's basically a line that goes in through your arm, into your chest, into the main artery here, and works as like what IV would in hospital, but you have it at home, and an NHS nurse or someone comes out and administers it at your house. But I actually booked to go away, and I'd already had to cancel one holiday, so for me it was better that I was in Spain lying on a sunbed unable to do anything than being here in the UK while my family was enjoying themselves. So it was really hard. I had to have special assistance on the plane. I was drugged up on painkillers and stuff, and obviously antibiotics. Still really sleepy, felt like a zombie, and yeah, I somehow made it through. I'm going to do a more in-depth video because I think when I tried to look for spinal surgeries, it was mainly things like spina bifida or spinal stenosis, which is not what I had. on paper it looks like mine was quite minor, and it shouldn't have really been that complicated. I think this year it's just made worse, obviously, by the post-operative infection. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I also found out around 7 weeks ago, that I was pregnant, which again is another massive complication because it's going to put extra pressure on my spine. And my actual last pregnancy with my daughter Poppy is what caused my disc to come out in the first place. So as I grew out the front, my disc came out the back, and that in itself is a concern for me this pregnancy, definitely. So yeah, I'll do another in-depth video about that, because I'm sure there's people out there in a similar situation that would want to know. But yes, I hope to be back to YouTube crafting and getting back to my normal self. I'm still in no way, shape or form back to normal. I think I just have to deal with what is a new normal for me now. I still have pain, still getting sciatic pain. I'm still on certain pills, which I obviously can't take as much, or the same ones as I was, because I'm pregnant now. So I'm still having physio. I'm due to see a specialist physiotherapist for spinal injuries in the coming weeks, so that should be good as well. But yeah, stay tuned for my next video.